They called the cops on my wife. HOA president stood on my lawn waving her clipboard like it was a royal decree, screaming into the phone that my wife was a threat to the community. And then minutes later, every jaw on the block hit the ground when my wife pulled out a shining badge. Turns out the lady who refused to join the HOA was actually the sheriff. Act 1. The beginning of trouble. My name's Mike. I'm a freelance writer, the type who thought moving into Silver Pine Estates would finally give me peace, a quiet cul-de-sac, a little garden, and neighbors who waved hello. My wife Diana, well, everyone thought she was just a reserved, bookish woman who loved baking and gardening. Nobody knew who she really was. Enter Veronica Hayes, HOA President, City Council member, queen of the fake smile and iron fist. She showed up on our porch with a binder of rules thicker than the Bible, demanding $275 a month. Mandatory membership, she said. Diana, without even blinking, replied, "No thank you." That was like spitting in Veronica's champagne. Within a week, violation notices started appearing in our mailbox. Grass too long. Decorative gnome out of code. Mailbox not community standard. I almost laughed at first, but then the fines piled up: $50, $100, $250. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I raged. I slammed the papers on the counter, muttering about scams and crooks. Diana. She smiled, almost amused. "Trust me," she said, and that calm drove me crazy. Act 2. Escalation and the breaking point. Things got worse, way worse. Neighbors stopped waving. Mothers pulled their kids inside when I walked Duke around the block. Someone even scratched trouble into my truck door. I lost a writing contract after the client Googled my name and saw HOA board notes labeling us as non-compliant and hostile. And through it all, Diana stayed steady. Too steady. I started to think she didn't care. One night after we'd gotten hit with our 5th violation, this one for parking a non-compliant vehicle, meaning my perfectly normal pickup, I snapped. "You're letting her destroy us," I shouted. "She's taking our jobs, our friends, our peace. And you're just smiling." Diana didn't answer. For the first time, her hands shook. She turned away, and I swear I saw tears in her eyes. I felt a crack inside me. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe we should just pay up and play the stupid game. Maybe I wasn't strong enough to fight this. For the first time in years, I felt small, powerless, alone even in my own home. But what I didn't know was that Diana wasn't ignoring the war. She was fighting it silently and on a scale way bigger than I imagined. Turns out she'd been investigating Veronica for months, secretly, patiently. She'd traced nearly $200,000 siphoned from HOA dues into shell companies owned by Veronica's relatives. She had files, contracts, bank transfers, proof of corruption that could topple the entire board. And she wasn't just my wife Diana. She was Sheriff Diana Anderson. The woman everyone thought was quiet was the highest law enforcement officer in the county. Act 3. Showdown and Justice. The final battle hit on a Sunday morning. Veronica, furious that Diana refused to pay, dialed 911 and screamed into her phone, "This woman is armed. She's dangerous. She's threatening the community." 2 squad cars rolled up, lights flashing. Neighbors crowded their porches, whispering like they were about to watch a hanging. My stomach dropped. I thought they'd drag Diana out in cuffs. But Diana didn't flinch. She stepped forward, calm as ever, and asked the deputy, "Do you recognize me?" Then she pulled a silver badge from her jacket. "Sheriff. My wife, the sheriff." The deputy froze, then straightened like a soldier at inspection. Veronica's face twisted, her confidence cracking for the first time. Diana's voice rang out clear and sharp. "You've just filed a false police report against the sheriff, and that's not all." She signaled, and another deputy stepped forward with a folder. Evidence. Line after line of embezzlement. Fake landscaping contracts worth $75,000. Payments to her brother-in-law's construction firm. HOA dues rerouted into Veronica's personal account. Neighbors gasped. Phones shot up, recording every word. People who once avoided us now shouted, "Thief, fraud. We trusted you." Veronica tried to bluster. "This is slander. You can't prove." But the deputy cut her off. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and filing false reports." The click of the cuffs was the loudest sound on the block. I stood there stunned while Veronica Hayes, the woman who thought she owned this neighborhood, was marched down her own driveway red-faced and trembling. Diana didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She just said, calm as always, justice isn't about revenge. It's about truth. And in that moment I finally understood. Her silence wasn't weakness, it was patience. Her calm wasn't surrender, it was power. Final note. That's how it ended, not with cheers, not with a party, but with the truth slamming down like a hammer.